But you love it, though.
You look like Zorro. Something like Zorro would wear.
You dig this tie? That's an elephant hair tie.
You did a whole elephant imp just to get a tie?
What can I tell you?
Anyway, it's kind of cute. Was it bad standing outside today? You should. We're having a heat wave in Los Angeles, rather unusual for L.A. this time of year. I saw a car in a parking lot, one of those Garfields, stuck to the window.
Yeah.
Turned out to be a real cat. No, don't write me, cat lovers. Well, how dare you say that about our little kitty cats? Well, let's find out what's going on in the news. The big thing I read in the papers is about Bush is kind of in a bind. We have about a $50 million debt, I guess, to meet Graham Rudman. And Bush, they say, is now considering new taxes. Yeah, I think we missed the fine print. I think we missed the fine print while we were reading his lips. Yeah. No tax. Bush may be backing off on his position on taxes, but thank God he's still hanging tough against broccoli.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. You know what the Republicans are now saying? They're saying that Bush's campaign promise of no new taxes was only meant for 1 year. And the vice president is kind of nervous because Bush also said, "Read my lips, Dan, you're on the ticket in 92. That's what Bush said. Actually, Bush, remember when he was campaigning for president and he made that statement, no new taxes? Bush now is getting off that position. He said what he really said was no nude Texans. Did you go see Madonna once? Didn't she do a concert here?
I didn't see her.
Yeah. How many of you saw Madonna in concert? Yeah. What? Madonna fever is spreading across the country. I didn't see the show, but is it a little bit suggestive? I saw some clips on cable TV, and wow. Well, shows were not that risque, right? At least when I was that young. The wildest thing I ever saw at a concert, I can still remember to this day, was seeing the Mills Brothers singing without their cummerbunds. Boy. Well, we are in, television is now what we call the sweeps month. You know what that is? All the stations put on programming hoping to attract viewers, and some of it is kind of tawdry. For example, a local station, it's a CBS station here. You know what they're doing? They're sending a reporter out, and they're doing a thing called Search for Sleaze. I'm not making it up. They're actually sending out a reporter to look for sleaze. Now, I mean, sending out a local reporter to look for sleaze is like sending out an arsonist to look for a fire. I mean, you don't... something like that. Now, here's an item I don't quite understand. It was in all the papers, rather controversial. Have you heard about what the Navy is planning to use dolphins for? Yes, they're mounting guns on the noses of dolphins. Now, why don't they leave the poor dolphins alone? Enough is enough already. The Libyan Navy, I understand, has got a similar top-secret project. They armed a flounder with an air rifle. Not quite the same. But it must be true because today I understand a dolphin took a shot at a motorist that tried to cut him off near the Pacific Coast Highway. But that's not from the heart. I can tell the difference. Apparently, they've been testing them quietly for over a year. Did you know that?
No.
Wherever Bush goes, apparently 2 Secret Service dolphins with sunglasses follow his boat. You'll see them when they come up. They've got a little walkie-talkie. Meanwhile, overseas, sometimes when it's not going good in this country, I just go across the pond and see if there are any jokes in the old country. You're all familiar with Moscow now has McDonald's?
Yeah.
They also have Baskin and Robbins. In the paper this week, they are also getting gambling casinos. A company in Nevada is opening 4 casinos in the Soviet Union near the Black Sea. Now, the Russians, you know, they're not quite up to speed on these things. They don't work the same way casinos here work. In Russia, all the chips are the same color. And after you lose, they decide how much you bet. Now, and this is a little item in the Wall Street Journal. Maybe you saw it. Maybe it was on the news. Albania has made a deal with AT&T for the first time. They're going to have phone service directly to the United States. Boy! Exciting news. Now, somebody else to drag me out of the bathtub, right? Albania's a nice country, but, you know, they're not up to speed either. And they only have 2 people there with phones. Brad and Vlad. And Vlad's answering me and says, "Hi, Vlad, this is Vlad. I'm not in right now." And a third person, I understand, applied for a phone. And Brad and Vlad said, "Oh, great, now we've got to get call answering." They're... Okay. Obviously, I should have stayed in Russia. Okay, let's try this one. Moving back into this country and all the way back east, covering this great land of ours, where there are many senses of humor. True, the FBI is trying to prove that Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry used drugs through a new test they called hair analysis. Are you familiar with this? They said they can test your hair for the presence and see if you've been doing drugs. Imagine being convicted on the basis of your hair. More bad news for Pete Rose. And today they took a sample of Don King's hair. He was negative for drugs, but they found a hunter squatting in there with a duck call. Okay. Tonight, Mr. Tony Randall, whom we have not seen for quite a while, is with us. One of the young ladies who stars in a very innovative television show called Twin Peaks. Her name is Lara Flynn Boyle. Lara is with us tonight. And Andy. And a gentleman I have not met. I've only seen a picture of what he is bringing tonight. Andy Kaufman, and he has, I'm talking really big frogs. Have you seen that story? That he is entering in the Calaveras frog jumping contest? Yeah. And they had a little controversy because he bred these frogs, I believe, in the Cameroon somewhere. And these are, I'm talking, big frogs. Right here on our stage, big frogs. I guess that's about it. And
don't we have a visitor?
We have a visitor.
A visitor from the
From
east.
the east. My goodness, what a lucky time you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Bob Stevenson and the great NBC Orchestra. And now a person we have not seen in a long time, the famous visitor from the East. The all-knowing, all-telling, all-omniscient, famous seer, sage, soothsayer, and former driver for Miss Daisy, Carnac the Magnificent. So nice to see you again.
Thank you.
I hold in my hand the envelopes. A child of 4 could see. These envelopes are hermetically sealed. They've been kept in a mayonnaise jar in Funkin' Wagnall's porch since noon today. No one knows the contents of these envelopes. But you, in your mystical and borderline divine way, will ascertain the answer, having never before heard the question.
Thank you, Rover.
Yes. Envelope number 1, hermetically sealed.
Must have absolute silence.
Oftentimes, Carnac gets that.
Should have been call forwarding, not call answering.
Yes.
The answer to this question sealed in here is milk and honey.
Milk and honey.
What will Michael Milken be hearing a lot of in jail? Over the lips and through the gums.
Over the lips and through the gums.
What's the worst place to attach your suspenders? Carnac headed right into Pakistani porta potty. Ding dong dell, pussies in the well. What won the grand prize this week on America's Funniest Home Videos? Ding dong dell, pussies in the well. Freddie explaining it to Peter. He understands.
He understands.
Where Jimmy Hoffa? He understands.
We have several more to go.
To hell in a handbasket. Where's the next place Ernest should go? Hair trigger.
Hair trigger.
What do Germans call Roy Rogers' horse? Hey. Little hand is on the 7. Describe an evening at Snow White's house. C'est la vie. La vie. The infinity.
The infinity.
Shut up. Where does the needle stop on Dom DeLuise's bathroom scale? Buttercup. Buttercup. Name something worn by an athletic cow. Shell game. What do you call Mutant Ninja Turtle foreplay?
I hold in my hand the last envelope.
A road, a chicken, and an SNL president. Name something that should be tarred, something that should be feathered, and something that should be tarred and feathered. Completely reversed. Okay, folks. This gentleman has been the center of a rather heated controversy for some time. His frogs will compete at the celebrated Calaveras County Fair and Jumping Frog Jubilee next week. Didn't Mark Twain write a story about
Yes.
Calaveras County? He's from Seattle, Washington. Would you welcome Andy Kaufman? Good God. That looks like a Mattel toy or something. I mean, that's a real frog.
Yes, it is. This is Herky.
Herky?
Yeah, that's what we call him. This is Herky.
Wow.
And here, Herky's an 8.5-pound Goliath frog.
What kind of a frog?
Goliath frog?
Goliath. Yeah, I see what you mean. Is it all right to hold him like that? He seems
sure.
comfortable.
That's how you hold the frog with this
And
size.
what
Like
does-
that,
what
we
does-
support his weight.
Huh?
Like this. We support his weight like this. And they're all different colors. Some of them are yellow, and some of them are white. Some of them are black. They're all different.
That is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen pictures of it, but so you're sitting right here.
It's also amazing to be out here with you.
Yeah, well. What's this controversy all about? This frog is because it's not raised in this country? Is that basically what it is?
Well, they think my frogs are too big, but
Is there restrictions on what size frog?
well, no. The only rules of this contest is that the frog be 4 inches and that it be a frog.
Well,
it
that's,
certainly is 4 inches, and it's a frog.
And it's a frog, and it's certainly over. How long is that frog altogether?
This frog, well, the biggest ones that we have are like this. They're about 3 feet long. And they have never, ever been seen in any zoo anywhere in the world, ever.
Right.
And I lived in Cameroon for 9 years, and
Right.
I saw one jump across the river. I knew about Calaveras.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I said, Calaveras, here I come.
You got a winner
And it's my dream is close to becoming a reality. And
So why the controversy? Why didn't they want you to enter these frogs? Or some
first
people
of all, they
obviously
said
didn't.
that my frog would jump out into the audience and critically injure some of the spectators. Then they said that my frog would turn around and gobble up the competitors.
Well, let's talk about that. Is that possible?
And my frogs are very shy and timid. They would never turn around in front of thousands of people in the middle of the day
And eat
another frog. It would never ever happen.
Now, what does a Herky eat?
Well, frogs are opportunistic. They'll eat anything that walks by them in the night in the right circumstances. But what we feed them are mice and crickets and goldfish and crayfish. We try to vary their diet.
You ought to send these frogs to Nevada. Aren't they having trouble up there with an infestation of what they call Mormon crickets? Have you read about that? No.
Yes.
They're huge, about 2 inches long.
Yeah,
That would be...
they would do a good job with them, I'm sure.
Yeah. So they finally relented and say it was all right?
Yes, well, what they're doing is they have a jumping pad, if you look at this, and if you would, Johnny, you'd like to hold it.
Not really.
Well, you just hold them like this. Just hold them right behind there like that.
Right.
Hold them tight right in there so you don't drop them. There you go.
This frog is disqualified. Apparently, I just didn't have the right grip on him. I didn't want to. Maybe I grabbed him too tight.
No.
Wow.
You did fine.
Somebody grabbed me there. I would do that also.
I'm sorry about the
Oh, that's all right. No, don't worry about that. This will come out of your check tonight.
But the thing is what they're saying is that they have a starting pad, which is 8 inches in diameter.
Right.
And what they're saying is that I can jump my frogs that fit in the starting pad. So I do have some small ones that do.
I
They
see.
said the large ones they want me to jump every day for a demonstration jump to see, with Guinness World Book of Records, to measure the world's longest jump of a frog.
Right.
But as you can see, my biggest frogs, they don't really fit
Don't fit on there, not
you know,
too much.
Even if we push them in, they still don't fit. So actually what Calaveras would like me to do is jump my smallest frogs against their frogs.
And you don't want to do that, of course.
Well, for fair play and all that sort of thing.
Somebody else says they were worried that these frogs would get loose in this country or something, but I understand that they don't breed in this country.
Well, these frogs die in temperature. They're from the equator, so they die in temperatures below 40 degrees. And
I see.
they lay their eggs on a plant which is only found in Africa and is not found anywhere here. So they could...
There's not such a thing as frog steroids, are there?
No, people always...
Nothing personal. I didn't want to
People always ask
insinuate
me...
you were boosting the
People
frog.
always ask me if I did that, and
Yeah.
if I do that. And no, they're just the largest frogs in the world. They were first discovered by the early French explorers in the late 18th century.
Yeah.
But they had never been in any zoo or ever been kept alive ever before. And
Understand what we're going to do tonight?
We're going to jump them for...
what?
I think we should do the frog off after this.
All right, it's a jump off.
The jump.
Not a frog off, a jump off.
I brought...
Should have been a call forwarding also should have been.
I brought you a little frog.
I understand you brought me a regular frog.
Yes,
That
I
is.
caught it at Calaveras, so actually it's a very big bullfrog.
Okay, let's do this commercial first, and then we'll come back and see how this turkey does against
Against the
the one
small
I've got. Okay, stay where you are. We'll be right back, folks. Okay, folks, here we are at the frog meet. Okay, obviously we're in front of somebody's home here. Now, you've got Herky, and you brought me a frog that...
Well, I brought you a frog that we caught at Calaveras County. It's a big bullfrog.
Okay.
Can I give it to you?
Sure, okay.
This is that big
It's the
bullfrog.
first time we've met, folks, so who knows?
This is the one you'll be jumping.
Well, I mean, good Lord, this is nothing.
Yeah.
This is nothing. Although he does look a little like Jim Baker.
And this is the one I'll be jumping.
Does this seem fair, folks? Now, what are the rules? We set the
Now,
frog
what we
here.
do is we set the frog down, and it's the best of 3 jumps, from the beginning of the first jump to the end of the third jump. So if you want to put
When you
your...
say the best of 3 jump, they get 1 jump?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, 3 hops.
And then we measure that distance, and whoever goes the furthest distance in 3 jumps,
In the 3 jumps.
wins the contest.
All right, is there anything... You cannot touch the frog once we put
Well,
him
you
down?
can when it's on the starting pad, but you can't touch it once it makes the first jump.
But you can encourage the frog?
Absolutely.
All right.
And here's what we're
How
going to
you
do.
encourage your frog? I haven't the slightest idea.
Well, I'm sure.
Do what, you might add?
Okay, I guess we'll do it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Go, baby.
Whoa.
Hey! Obviously, I won. He jumped somewhere out of the studio. I think he's behind the box over there. Anyway, this is fascinating. Good luck up in Calaveras
Thank
County.
you very much.
Okay, thank you. Andy
Thank you for
Kaufman.
having
What?
me.
Okay.
One more time, okay.
Was he doing something?
He was hiding, yeah.
Yeah, well, just there. I mean,
Yeah, he did something.
well, sure.
When this guy does something, it's really something.
Yeah, okay. One more time.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you much, guys. Andy Kaufman. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right. It's been a while since we've seen my next guest. I'm a big fan of his. Tony will be appearing on A Night of 100 Stars. Do we have the list of the other 99? We might read now. I don't suppose so. It's a 3-hour special. That's way too long. What? That's way too long. Oh, it's on this network. Oh,
It's a great special.
they should do 4 hours. That's airs right here on NBC. A big 3-hour show. It'll seem just like 4. That's on May 21st. Would you welcome Miss Tony Randall? Well, my. It has been. It's been a passel of years, hasn't it?
Since we've been together?
Just almost. I don't know what a passel is. It's a Midwest term. A passel of years.
Passel is a little pass in a mountain. It's
A passel. I thought that was a passette. You know what the guy told me who was out here, Mr. Kaufman, a moment ago? He says, I met Mr. Randall backstage, and he knows about frogs. And I said, that does not surprise me. Because you have a vast knowledge or a working knowledge of a lot of different subjects, don't you? Seriously.
My knowledge of frogs is mainly culinary.
Ah. You know, a family of 5 could eat off one of those
Yes.
legs for
Yeah.
a long time.
A lot of people won't eat frogs.
I'm not.
But
a,
I
I'm not-
will.
I'm not a fancier of frogs. Frogs.
You don't like it?
Not really. You always say it tastes like chicken, right? It's always like people say
Then
that.
chicken's better.
I
Is that
think so. So I eat chicken.
Yeah.
I want something that tastes like chicken. Why should I eat a frog? Well, is that true? If you like chicken, why fool around with a frog?
That's right. You
So-
have a well taken point there. No
Well, I
question
don't know if
about
it's well
that.
taken. It's just a point. But it's well taken or not well taken.
Do you watch the commercials on your show?
Yes, why?
I don't believe you, the way you say it. That's why.
I watch them if I'm watching the show at home. I don't normally watch them while we're in the studio here.
No, you're busy.
Extremely.
Well, your first commercial tonight was the John Deere commercial.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
For the lawnmower.
Yes. And I hadn't seen it this year. But the one last year, do you remember it?
Gosh, I usually get brought up to date on these things on the John Deere commercial. I just missed it this week.
Yeah.
What was it last year?
You were on the grounds of a convent. You remember that?
No.
Yes. And the Mother Superior stood near the camera talking, and in the background, a nun was mowing the lawn in her John Deere machine. And the Mother Superior said, since we've gotten this new John Deere power mower, Sister Peaceful can mow the lawn in the time it used to take 4 men to do it. And then she would, the sister in the back would drive up to the Mother Superior and say, Mother Superior, how long will this machine last? And the Mother Superior said, no man knows, only he does. That was the commercial.
You must be a very lonely person. You know, to spend your time. To spend your time just logging these memories in your. And that's what you do at night, just sit and look at commercials and then come up to somebody a year later and say, do you remember the John Deere commercial?
Yeah. Have you
You have
seen...
a very retentive mind, don't you?
Only for commercials. Have you seen the Metamucil one? Guys.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lady saying, I want to get caught on the bus.
That's right.
And hope that it doesn't kick in. Blah!
Yeah, that's the one I meant.
She says everything but that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The guy says, what? Me take a laxative? Sure. And have it kick in on the bus? Yeah.
Not a pretty sight. Not a pretty sight.
Imagine on the crowded bus.
Oh, yes. Well, that's what they're trying to...
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to conjure up,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah. And then one of them's a school teacher. Hope it doesn't happen in class.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, advertisers prey on your fears.
That's right.
That's why they sell products.
That's right.
Do you use a deodorant at all?
Yes.
Now, why do you use a deodorant?
I don't know because
Most people, now I'm going to just, most people do not need to use an underarm deodorant if you take, listen to me, if you bathe every day regularly, normally only a few people have that problem. That's true. Oh, come on. You see, you've been brainwashed.
That's right.
You've been brainwashed. Or arm washed, one of the two. That's true. If you bathe and take normal hygienic procedures, it's not necessary to use a deodorant.
And some of us think that people smell better without it.
The smelly group up here, what do you think? How did we get on this subject anyway? Has it been 5 years since you've been here?
Oh,
Lord,
no.
yes. What?
No, a couple of years.
5 years.
Do you know how many times? No.
Somebody said it was 1985.
That's right. With you.
That would be 5 years. I know you were here when I was ill.
Yeah.
Off, you were here with Jay, I believe.
Do you know how many times I've been on?
I would guess. Let me take just a guess. 50.
95.
It only seems like 50. Is that right? First appearance, somebody told me, was in 1965.
When was that the year you started?
No, we started in 62.
No, I was on your first year. I think.
Okay.
I may be wrong.
No, you're probably right.
No,
you know
no.
these things.
No.
If you remember a John Deere commercial from a year ago, I'm not going to argue about the first year you were on the show. Got a new word for me tonight? Usually you come in You are, what is a lover of words? What is there a word for that? Who loves vocabulary, who loves words, the meaning of words?
Yes, I suppose logophilia. I don't know.
Bill Sapphire is a great to whatever it is, you know. Bill Sapphire
he's
writes a
amazing.
marvelous column.
I found a marvelous word for you.
I know, all right.
And if you might be able to figure it out, but it's a cruel commentary on the human race that this word is obsolete.
Oh, that's a clue then, obviously, right?
No.
Is that the word obsolete?
No.
Oh, I see. Damn. I had that one. What is the word?
It's easy to figure out what it means. Imbellious.
Imbellious. Well, the prefix is em or im?
I am, meaning not.
Impossible, not bellious. Not bellicose?
That's right.
Not warlike.
Not warlike. And that word is obsolete. Doesn't that hurt?
Impellious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no need for that word in our civilization, not warlike.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Thank you.
What else is happening?
But you figured it out. Yes.
Well, if you get the prefix, sometimes that helps. Non-im.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Bellious sounds like bellicose.
Yes.
So.
Or embellic. Embellic or embellious.
Or imbellicose, I suppose. Is there such a word?
Umbilicose?
Imbellicose.
No.
I see. You couldn't say imbellicose.
I suppose you could.
But you'd be wrong.
It wouldn't matter since it's
Sounds
obsolete.
like Nixon, but it would be wrong.
Yeah.
Too far back.
You asked me what's...
Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. You never know. You never change. You know, you're remarkable. You always look the same.
So do you?
You never seem to age.
No, I don't.
You really don't age?
No.
Are you going to pull a Dorian Gray someday and all of a sudden just overnight?
No. No, I have no such intention whatsoever. You asked me what I'm up to.
I thought you went into a seance, sir, just for a moment. Well, I knew you were on playing on Broadway.
I was on Broadway, yeah.
Not in Madam Butterfly.
M. Butterfly.
M. Butterfly.
Oh, that closed, but that was...
I understand you were marvelous.
Well, it's not for me to say. But,
Were you marvelous?
I don't know. I really don't know. I do know it was the best I've ever been in my whole life.
Well, and that's...
Well, actors, that does happen. An actor finds a role that just suits him. It just was...
But you've had
glorious,
great
beautiful thing.
success in a lot of mediums. Radio, motion pictures, theater, and television. That in itself is remarkable.
Yes.
Not many people get to work all of those different, what is the word I want, media, venues.
Did you work much in radio?
No. I was a disc jockey, but I did not do the kind of stuff you did where you actually appeared on dramas and serial
Yes.
shows and that type of thing, playing various characters. No.
Yeah.
But those days are gone. You don't hear that stuff anymore. Although some of the stations here in California will play from time to time the early radio shows
I know
in
it.
the late 30s
and we
40s.
don't. I'm on them, and we don't get any royalties. They're.
Well, I know those now. Yeah.
I was on a show called I Love a Mystery.
I remember it.
Yeah, and that's on all the time on these radio stations.
You get a
and
kick out of listening to it, though?
No.
Really?
No, I did. I never appreciate. I just.
You don't live in the past, huh?
No, not a bit. But in radio, there was a firm in New York named Air Features. Do you remember that name?
No, I do not.
Well, they had 17 soap operas on. And
They used to be written, a lot of them, by one couple. What was? You remember their names? That used to write, like
Irma Phillips.
It was a team, and Freddie. You remember? Freddie was there when they only had drums. What? The only method of communication was you'd hit drums, and Freddie.
Well, if you worked for this firm, you might work on all 17 of their soap operas.
And you run from one studio.
Yes, and you could make a good living just from that. But if any one of their directors didn't like you, then you were fired from all their shows.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, and they had a director named Martha Atwell, and I'm sure many of my contemporaries will remember her. And she was a difficult and frightening woman.
Yeah.
And so you rehearsed for an hour. That's all.
Right.
And she would sit looking at the clock, and as it ticked to the moment when you started, she'd say, "Page 1." She wouldn't look at you as you came into the studio. If you came in 1 second after that tick, next day someone else was playing your part.
Wow.
You were out.
And you were a young actor at the time.
Yeah, you were. So she terrified people. And I had a friend, Cliff Carpenter, and he acted on all these shows. And then he was drafted, and within 6 weeks of being drafted, he was in combat. That's unusual, but it happened. And he was in the Battle of the Bulge. And he was in a foxhole. and it was filling up with water, and enemy tanks were going right over his head. And the sergeant kept yelling, "Don't fall asleep!" And you can, no matter the fact that war is going on around you, after 24 hours, you'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
And the guy kept yelling, "Don't fall asleep," but he fell asleep. And he woke up with a screaming nightmare. He dreamed he was late for a Martha Atwell.
That's a tough lady. That's wonderful. We got a pause. We'll be back. Stay where you are. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, this next young lady is one of the stars of Twin Peaks, which is a very interesting, intriguing nighttime mystery. Some people might call it a soap opera. Would you welcome, please, Lara Flynn Boyle. Lara? Nice to see you. You were supposed to be with us the other night, and we ran along, so I thank you for coming back.
Oh, gosh, it's the chance of a lifetime.
Oh, I've seen Twin Peaks a number of times. It's a very interesting, almost bizarre in certain aspects.
You've seen it?
Oh, yeah, I sure have. You enjoy it?
Yeah, it's quite an experience. It's a nice, large cast.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun shooting it.
And you play the girlfriend of the girl that was
Yes, I
done
play
away
Laura
with.
Palmer's best friend.
And it all revolves around that, doesn't it? It's a continuing kind of drama.
Pretty much so, but considering that there's such a large cast,
Yeah.
it varies.
It's a good show.
Yeah, so far so
Doesn't
good.
your season finale just finish, or it's coming up? Or?
No, we have, I think, 3 more episodes.
3 more?
Yeah.
I'm right on top of things. Yeah. Do people stop you and do that silly thing, well, you look just like you look on television, or you look different than you look on television, or?
I look pretty different from Donna Hayward, yeah. We look a little bit alike, but she dresses differently.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Where'd you start your career? You're only, what, 20 years old?
I'm 20.
Yeah, where'd you start your acting career?
Well, I've been wanting to do this since I was about 3. I started in Chicago.
Right.
Yeah.
What, in a local theater or
In
television?
local theaters, and then I went to performing arts high school.
Yeah. What did you do? We've talked to Tony a lot about what actors or actresses do when they're not working. They always usually hold strange jobs. They're sales clerk, or they work at McDonald's, or they sell door to door, or...
Well, I did some waitressing. I worked with some people at a place called Ann Sather's. And in Chicago, every year, they have the Taste of Chicago.
Right.
And we used to go and work at the Taste of Chicago, which is about 100,000 people come through the weekend, and you serve them food. But I was very fortunate. I'm very close with the owner of the restaurant.
Right.
So I could spill food and trays of food
and hang in
just
there,
sort of laugh and say, sorry, you know.
It's not a bad training ground if you want to be an actress. You get exposed to a lot of
I guess
different
so.
kind of people.
I guess so.
Now, when did you come to Los Angeles, or did you come here first?
No, I came here. I promised my mom that I wouldn't come here until I graduated from high school.
Good move.
Yes.
Would you advise young ladies, you probably get letters from people, I want to, they told me I was in a school play, I should come to Hollywood and Fame and Fortune, or New York. You say, stay through high school, at least that, right?
Well, I don't know. If I didn't have my mom, I probably would have moved out right away.
So your mother said, don't finish high school. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I stayed in Chicago, and then I graduated from high school, and I left the next morning and moved out.
All by yourself?
Well, I moved out by myself, and my mom said that she would come in a few months. And I stayed for about 3 weeks, and I kept calling her and crying on the phone. Please come out. So finally, she came out a few weeks later.
It's awful tough to come into this town like this and try to find work, isn't it?
Well, it's not as tough finding work, but it's tough keeping a family and keeping friends, and because Hollywood can really offer you a lot of things for a short period of time.
Right. Like what?
Well, it's if you're a young girl and you're talented and you're cute, there's
you're
a
all
lot
of those things.
Well, so far. But, they're willing to, tell you how great you are and that. And it's nice to have people like your family around who are honest with you.
Yeah, can you tell the people who are giving you those kind of flattering accolades that they're not sincere?
Producers, people that, say they can get you a job or,
What was your first? Did you ever do commercials? We were talking about commercials.
I did a lot of print ads, and I did a commercial for Fruit Roll-Ups or something, and
Fruit Loops?
Fruit Roll-Ups. Yeah, and I was out there...
You probably remember that, don't you, Tony? Holy man who would know the commercial Fruit Roll-Ups, but you missed that one, huh?
No, I,
You remember?
Yes, of course.
No, you don't.
I almost bought that. So you did a few print things?
Yeah.
What was your first television work?
Oh, I did a miniseries called America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. Which is pretty amazing because I had never done anything, in TV. And then they cast me in it and told me to pack up my bags for